Hi everyone, so here's some samples. This is sample 1. Sample 1, as you can see, was very sandy. What I did with this sample was I used building sand. The building sand was a little bit wet, which I later found out affects it. I didn't really put that much granite stone in this one. The epoxy didn't really go off, but it was a good test because what I wanted to do was see if I didn't mix the epoxy quite correct, what it would actually do. Now it's gone off, but it's been a good 3 or 4 days. So that test wasn't too successful, but it proved a lot of theories that I had about things not going off, how much ratio of stone versus sand I needed to use. Then that is sample 2. Sample 2, as you can see, looks like it's not really got any epoxy in it. Even though it's solid to touch, it still wasn't that good. I wasn't really happy with the whole outcome of it because obviously it doesn't look very wet looking, as people explain in other videos, the wetting process. And as you can see, there's a lot of gaps, which seems pretty pointless really if you're doing something like this. Then that's sample 3. Now ignore the air bubbles, because in this one I didn't do anything to really get rid of the air bubbles, but that looks pretty bang on mix wise to me. No air pockets around here, just a few in there, which we can eliminate them hopefully with a bit of heat from heat gun. So the Granite Infill complete. Overall it's gone brilliantly. I've got some small air bubbles, but they're right on the surface, which is kind of expected with the depth of how much I've been filling it. But overall I'm really happy with the outcome. So as you can see, you've got some small white spots. They're just really tiny air bubbles, and they are literally just in the surface of the epoxy. Now I could have, looking back, heated the epoxy when I was mixing it, and that does get rid of some of those small air bubbles, but it's just where they've come to the surface and not quite escaped. There's no major ones, and as you can see, if I can get a good view, all down the sides brilliant. It literally is just on the surface. And it's a very solid fill. As you can see, that I smacked out the pieces that I had stopping it, the aluminium pieces. I just smacked them off with a hammer, and it hasn't even budged off the side of the bed. Now some people will be thinking, well, what's the point of doing that? But the weight difference is unbelievable. Didn't expect it to be that much. I used to be able to pick this up with one hand, literally. Now it's a 2-hand job just by filling those bits in, and now it's going to make it so much more rigid and just a lot better. I was having issues initially. I've had the machine set up in certain phases until I'd started redesigning bits for it, and there was a lot of vibration. I think a lot of the vibration was that, see, all that area that's now filled was just open, where now with that bit of mass in there, hopefully it's going to make a big difference. But overall seems to be good. Now the column turned out perfectly as well. The weight difference in the column is quite substantial as well. On the column on the bottom, I've just screwed rough aluminium plate over it. No reason in particular why I've done that. I've just thought that it would be something, just make it look a little bit tidier. It's nothing that pretty, it just covers over. It's not anything that's going to protrude the face, so when I try and bolt the column back down onto the bed itself, it's not going to make it so it doesn't sit square. It just literally sits there as a cover over the granite infill. I've actually screwed into the granite infill and it really bit into it, so that just proves how good the granite infill is. Overall, like I say, I'm happy with the outcome. Hope you like the video. Click subscribe.